Good morning and welcome back to Mortgage Financing and Homebuyer Ready. We are so excited that you're here today. My name is Jackie Abrams and I'm with Sampson Properties. And we have a special guest here today. She's going to introduce herself.
I am Karen McConnell Jones, and I am sitting in for Barbara Proctor.
Yes. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm happy to be here and filling in.
Yes.
I hear we have a great show today.
We do, and it's a pleasure to be back with all of you again. As you may remember, last week we Barbara and I reviewed the pre-approval process. That was quite a show. It was jam-packed with information to help you get ready and to understand what the pre-approval process is all about. I reviewed how when I meet clients, I send them an introductory email if they decide that they want to work with Barbara. Of course, I do work with other lenders also and other loan officers, but if they decide, once hearing the information about the different options that I have, if they want to work with her, then I send out an introductory email, and that email tells them the different documents that Barbara will need. And what I really like about working with Barbara, especially for lots of my clients, is that once she receives all the documents, she actually gives them a phone call. It's not an electronic transaction for her. She is a hands-on person. She will talk with you. She will make sure that you have all of the questions answered. And usually within 24 to 48 hours, you will have your pre-approval process in your hand. She will send it to you. So that's another reason that I really like working with Barbara. I know that some companies, they do everything electronically, and you don't get to speak to them. You don't get to speak to the loan officer. So that's one of the great things about working with Barbara.
Well, I know we have some great things coming up as soon as we come back from this break. On the other side of this, we will be back giving you some information for you can be what? Home buyer ready.
All right now.
Yes. Be right back at you. Yeah, that's right. That's who we are. Badass us. What? Who are we? We are women. Beautiful, accomplished, and divine. That's right. Badass us. Yeah. Who are we? We are gentlemen. Are our brothers accomplished and determined? Yet, as society see us, we must still change the narrative. Yeah, that's right. Who are we? The black community. Remember us? We are accomplished. We are determined. We are divine. We are of greatness. That's right. The black community. Badass us. Who are we? That's right. Who am I? I am the person committed to building the next community movement. What about you? That's okay.
Okay, welcome back. One thing that I did want to say, Karen, is that if we have anyone who would like to send us questions, please feel free to send questions to homebuyingquestions@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we have at least once a month, we have live audiences, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say once a month. Every month we have live audiences. And in order to become one of our audience people, please send an email to homebuyingaudience@gmail.com. So I did mean to say that.
Yes.
So today we are going to be talking about something that I'm really excited about. Barbara has pretty much been handling the topics of the show so far because as a lender and loan officer, that's her role. Now it's my turn. It is time for us to talk about what I'm going to call the real estate process.
The real estate process, I like that. So that means you're about to get us ready.
Yes, that's right.
So
you have your pre-approval,
yes.
which is the information that was shared last week.
Yes.
And now you have received that in an email. So that tells us what your pre-approval amount is. That's one of the most important things so that we're not looking at homes that either you're not interested in because the price is too much, or it's no need to do what I call window shopping. I don't like the window shop. We go looking for the homes that you'll be able to fit into your budget.
I
according
like
to the
that.
pre-approval.
You don't like window
No, and I
shopping.
let
That
my
means
clients
looking
know
at
that.
homes that you know you can't buy.
That's right.
Oh,
that's right.
okay.
And in a gentle way, I let the clients know that. You know, if we have a pre-approval for $500,000, we are not going to be looking at $1 million homes. I would love to see them, but no, we're not going to be doing that.
Yes.
So,
I love it. Yes.
so once I speak with a client, I let them know that in addition to having your pre-approval, that's very important, but we also need to get some paperwork completed. And the broker, any broker that you work with, they're going to have broker docs. That's what I call them, broker docs.
Yes.
And they're also going to have any type of transaction. You're going to have, excuse me, contract docs. Contract docs that need to be completed also. So what I like to do is, in speaking with my clients, usually this will be maybe the second conversation that we'll have. Sometimes it's the first, but I just like to speak with them about the documents that will need to be completed. And I don't like to rush clients, but by law, before we ever step into a home, the broker docs have to be completed. They have to be signed. And I'm not the type of person, I'm just not going to send you documents and say read them and sign them and get them back to me. I review them with my clients, every client. So the broker docs, there are at least 6 documents included in the broker docs. And one of the most important ones is the exclusive buyer-tenant agreement, representation agreement. That particular document has all of the information that you'll need to know about why you and how you're represented with a real estate agent, and what the roles and responsibilities are of you as a buyer, me as your agent, and what the broker responsibilities are also. So it covers just many things. And those documents take 30 to 40 minutes. If the clients don't have a lot of questions, we can usually get it done within 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm going to be the client because I have a question.
Sure.
So now I have to sign a broker doc
Yes.
before you able to show me homes.
That is the law. Yes.
Okay,
because you need to be represented. And so I don't know that all agents do that, but I am a person who follows the rules that I'm given. And so that's how I've done it every single time.
And then the 6 pages you're saying is just basically
Six documents.
Okay, 6 documents.
Yeah, but the main document that covers them is the exclusive buyer-tenant representation agreement. So that's the main document. That's 11 pages all by itself. And so the other documents, some brokers may have their agent sign them ahead of time. Some may not. I don't know. I'm working with Samson Properties now, and so I'm following their rules. And so we will have other documents, including an affiliated business disclosure, to let the clients know that Samson Properties has some type of interest with the affiliated business, the other businesses. There's also a marketing services agreement. Another one is the understanding whom real estate agents represent. so that you know, as a buyer, you're being represented by me. I am your buyer agent. You're the buyer client, and then the role of the other agent who's going to be in this deal whenever we get there. You know, the person representing the seller, and so everybody's roles are clear. There's certain things that they have to know, my buyer clients have to know. For example, if they wanted to go to an open house, they're not supposed to just walk up into an open house and not let them know they're already represented by an agent. So I go over all of those details with them. Again, that takes about 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes, and I love this because this process is no matter whether if you're a first time buyer
That's right.
or buying for the second time, third time.
That's right.
These are the steps that must be taken. Yes. So no matter what.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right. That's
I
right.
love it. I
And
love it.
One of the other things that I like to do is when I'm speaking with my client, I like to find out sort of their goals. I've had some clients who were first-time home buyers, and they may have been a little up in age. So let's just say over 50. Okay, first-time home buyer. And some clients, if their family, if they have not had home buyers in their family, some clients, and I don't know if you've ever run into anyone like this, they don't truly believe they can do it because they haven't seen anyone in their family do it. So my very first client that happened to, that was probably about 4.5 years ago. And when he told me that he didn't think he could get a pre-approval, so he got the pre-approval, he was actually emotional, literally emotional. And so what I decided that I needed to do with him was to work with him to understand you have put things in place. You have gotten your financial situation prepared, and you have worked hard to do that, and you deserve a home just like anyone else. Just think, you're going to be the first person in your whole entire family line to be a homeowner. So then there won't be children or younger people in your family coming back saying, oh, no one in my family's ever done it. I said, you'll be like a hero. You're the first one. And so, and he did. He listened to me. He accepted that with pride and understanding. And every once in a while, something would happen, Karen. And it wouldn't, for example, we may have to get an extension, you know, a day, 2, 3, a week or whatever, or a document took longer than it should have. And so he would always go back to, well, maybe I'm really not supposed to be doing this. Maybe I really, you know, maybe I stepped outside my boundaries. And I would have to reel him in every single time and say, no, do you remember what I told you? You have done everything you needed to do, and now it's your time. I said, because I talk to my clients, obviously lots of them or most of them are, they rent. So they are literally paying someone else's mortgage. And so, you know.
I like that.
Yes.
Say that again.
That's right. They are paying someone else's mortgage.
So you might as well be paying
That's
your own.
right. That's right.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I just got a client. I have helped them get rentals for 2 years. So it's really, I've known them for 4 years. I've helped them get rentals twice, 2 years each. And this last one, they were going to get a rental. So this would have been the second time they were going to get a rental. And they were going to rent it for 2 years. And at the current price of this rental, it was going to be $54,000 for the 2 years. They were going to be paying that homeowner. When the person saw that amount, that person started thinking, that's a lot of money. You know, looking at it all at one time, not what I'm paying per month, not the $28.75 or whatever it was per month, but looking at it over 2 years. That's a lot of money. He decided, based on that, and I think talking with one other person, that he could do it. He just got his pre-approval. He decided to go with Barbara. He just got his pre-approval a week ago.
Oh,
a week ago today, he got it.
Congratulations that week ago.
Yes. And so we are actually going to be looking at homes on Monday.
Wow,
And
that's
we were
exciting.
looking at rentals because they needed to move out of their current rental. So we had been looking at rentals, and some things were kind of happening. So what I have said was, this is how it was supposed to be. That's why those other rentals, it wasn't quite working out, because he is supposed to be a homeowner. So now he has at least one granddaughter and some other grandchildren. So he is now going to be able to say, I am building wealth for my family, because that's what happens. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, yes.
But once you become a homeowner, that's what you're doing. Instead of helping another homeowner to pay their mortgage. You're paying yours. You're getting a break on your taxes, of course, and you're also building your own wealth. So he is so excited, and he is uh, past the 50-year decade.
Yes.
Okay, so he just never thought about it before. His whole well, I don't know if his whole family, but lots of his family members had been renters, and that's just what he thought. So now he switched that mindset, and I'm so excited for him.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. I know this probably, I just always like throwing curveballs in. So when you was talking about rental, what you think about, real quick, renting with option to buy?
That is definitely an option for people who may need to get their finances together. One of the things that I have found when I've had clients to call me up and ask me about that, I might meet someone and they may ask that question, it's difficult to find that. In the MLS, which is the multiple listing service that all realtors have access to, where they show all of the properties that are available to purchase or rent, if they don't say anything about with option to buy, renting rather, with option to buy, you never know if that's going to be an option. There are some programs out there, but you have to be careful. You really have to be careful, because I think that the general consensus of what those programs are is you put some money down, and then you're paying each month with your rent. Let's just say you would normally pay $2,000. Let's say you're going to put down an extra $5, so you're now paying $2,500, but $500 is going to go into an account so that when you have built up your down payment, you are then ready to go into the purchase mode. I think that's how most people think about the rent with option to buy. However, I have personally known people, and this was one of my family members in North Carolina. He did exactly what I just said. He about $500 was going toward what he thought was an account, so that when he was ready to buy, he could draw from that money. The money wasn't there. He got scammed. So you have to be very, very careful. I would even recommend that if you decide to go that route, that you have an attorney or real estate attorney, to review those papers to make sure that what they're saying is actually what you think they're saying. So you have to be careful. I actually haven't dealt with any clients who decided to go that route. They'll ask me about it, but no one has decided to go that route. So I am not really into exactly what's going on with that. But as soon as I get a client who is, I'll be looking that up and we'll be getting that done.
All right. All right. So give us more. Give us more. What else you got for us?
Okay. So in addition to helping my clients to figure out their goal for purchasing a home, I think that's very, very important, because, again, I have to come back and remind them of that goal sometimes. I also tell them about the documents that they're going to have to complete. As I said, they're buyer docs, and then there are also contract docs. And so I like to review all of the documents with them. I don't just give them documents and have them read them and then get back to me. That's a part of the education that I like to give my clients. As you know, I'm an educator.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorite parts. That's where I really start educating them on this whole process, because it's a process. And things are not just going to happen overnight. I just had a client ask me, what's the timeline for purchasing a home? I'm at the end of my lease. And my lease ends at the end of January. Can I get this home by that time? So what I said to that client was, yes, obviously you can. I mean, lots of homes sell within 30 days. Depending on if it's a cash deal, it's going to be quicker than that. But a financed home can usually close within 30 days. But then if you add that you want to participate or use a down payment assistance program, then it's going to be even more days. So then we're looking at 50 to maybe 60 days, maybe. But if you work with a really good loan officer like Barbara Graham Proctor, who knows the programs and who can get that done, her processing team, they know how the program works, they get things done quickly. And so we're looking at sometimes between 45 and 50 days. And of course, homeowners want those transactions to close as quickly as possible, because they're still paying their mortgage. So, if you come in and you have a contract, a settlement date that says 30 days versus one that says 60 days, they may choose the one that says 30 days. So I have to be very convincing and very, I guess the word is convincing, that my client is going to be able to make it to the table to close that deal with you. And so whether they have a first time home buyer program or not. And then I talk about how Barbara and her team are able to get it done because they've done it so much. So usually it's not a problem.
This is great information. I know I am getting highly educated here.
All
you know,
right.
and I have a home and been in my home for 30 years now. Yes,
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you,
Wow,
thank
that's
you.
impressive.
Yes,
What did
yes.
you do about when you were 10?
Yes.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, I had to get a cosign. I was underage. Yes, I was actually 24. Yes, I was 24 years old. Yes, yes.
Impressive.
So this process, and like you said, for me, it was just like I was excited about buying my home, and being that young at 24, you know, I did not know all the, because you get a stack
That's
like
right.
this.
That's right.
So I like what you said earlier. Make sure that you have a real estate lawyer.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
a real estate
that's
attorney.
specifically when you're talking about rent with option to buy.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
you can always get an attorney with
Right.
just a regular residential contract
Yes.
or even a commercial contract.
Yes.
But yes. So.
I believe in allow them to walk me through this process, and having my real estate agent and my real estate attorney working for me.
Excellent.
You know, to make
Excellent.
sure. And so, and I think that was a great information that you just gave.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know it worked for me.
Great. So you actually did have a real estate attorney?
Yes, I
Okay,
did.
okay.
Yes, I had a real estate attorney, and just so happened, you know, had a real estate attorney in our family, and I'm telling you, Brenda was the best. She walked us right through the process. Yeah.
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. That's funny because of all of my clients, I haven't not had one to bring a real estate attorney to the table. However, I would welcome that.
Yes.
Because I'm sure I could also learn something too.
Yes.
But
yes.
but one of the things that I like about the documents is that the documents definitely are the broker documents. There's one specifically that talks about the limitations of the broker and the agent. And so they're saying that if you have questions that are outside of the real estate person, then you need, if it's a question that is dealing with legal things, you need to ask an attorney.
Yes.
If it's for a home inspection, you need to ask a home inspector.
Inspector.
If it's about insurance, of course, you need to ask an insurance agent. So they let us know, and we're supposed to tell our clients, it's not that I don't want to answer it, but I'm stepping outside of my boundaries if I do. So, yes, yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
This is good stuff. Yes.
So, in addition to reviewing the broker docs with them, I also review the contract docs, and it's a sample packet that I put together, and it's most of the documents that are going to be a part of a contract. It's difficult to have every document because every home is different. Some homes may be older than a home that was built in 1978. That specific year is very important because before that time in America, paint was lead-based paint. And after that, we were not supposed to use lead-based paint. So there are documents that if your home was built before 1978, you're going to have lead-based paint documents in there. If you have a home that's under an HOA, you're going to have HOA documents. So I go over most of the documents, and it's about 40 pages that I review. And that takes about 2 to 2.5 hours. But it's very important that I get that done prior to me helping them or them choosing a home. Because, and we're going to be talking about that later, once the home is chosen and you want to put an offer in, then the clock starts really ticking fast. And we don't really have time for that. So we review the documents in advance so that you can start what I call understanding the documents and having a little bit of background knowledge about the documents so that when you see them the next time, they'll really make sense.
Yeah.
So, you have any questions?
Yeah, of course. I always have questions. You know, within that, I would just say, how about like when you're a first time buyer and you like you said, you have to work on your credit, because I know you always saying what your credit score need to be as well. So can you still be in the process and work on that? So what we're going to do is I will allow for you to answer that when we get back from
Okay.
the other
All
side.
right.
So
I
do
love
you?
that.
So remember what I just
Yes,
asked
yes,
you now.
yes,
So
yes.
no, I'll repeat it again when we come back from this commercial break. So
Okay.
you got some good
You are
stuff.
challenging me, and I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. And so I just kind of want to know what that process looked
Okay.
like.
All righty.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can be home by you ready again.
Hello. Well,
Yes,
and,
yeah.
and, and,
'Cause
you,
I
and, you,
want a
and, you, and,
condo.
you, and you have an agent. So.
Yes, I have an agent and I have a lender.
And you have a lender.
Yes,
that's right.
yes. And so
And a condo is a wonderful way to start out.
yeah,
That's actually
I want
the
to
first
retire
property.
into a condo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so keep that in mind.
All right, I sure
All
will.
right, so we'll be right back at you. We'll see you on the other side.
All righty.
Yes,
Thank
we're
you.
learning how to be home by you ready.
That's right.
It is key that you mind your mental health.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this week?
Hi.
Use the 5 keys to mental
Well, this week
movement.
has been a really monumental week for me. I realized that I was not being myself.
Reaching out.
Be positive attitude person self, like you guys know me to be. I was
Staying
listening to
upbeat.
teaching and get back to that happy, cheery self of me.
This week's been kind of
Being
stressful
creative.
with all of the workload that we have on online learning. So I've been trying to use different platforms and different websites to help ease my mind and ease my stress.
And what about you, Marjorie?
Well, you guys know me. I just love to work with others and serve them.
Serving others.
Realize that when I serve others, my mind is off of myself.
That's right. And don't forget, self-care is key.
Self-care.
All right. So see you guys next week.
Right.
Bye.
Your mind matters.
Okay, as you know, we are here today on Mortgage Financing and Homebuyer Ready, and we are talking about the real estate process. We have just reviewed some of the documents that are important, the buyer broker docs actually, and we're going to be talking about the contract docs in just a minute. But prior to our break, we had a question. And Karen's going to repeat that question again.
Yes, the question was, we was talking about just being there and getting ready and walking them through the process. And I know on the previous show, you always talking about credit, having your credit ready, and then now you're pre-qualified, you know what you're getting. And I was just wondering if someone doesn't have the best credit, but can they start the process and still work on this?
Well, it depends on what you mean by starting the process. If they want to find out their baseline, where they are, they can actually go ahead and present the documents to Barbara, and they can get a pre-approval.
Okay.
And she may let them know that based on the information that you gave me, your pre-approval amount will be whatever that is.
Right.
And if that doesn't fit into the 3 or 4 bedroom home that they want with the number of beds and baths and the garage and whatever, they know they may need to do something else. And so, when you say start the process, yes, they can start the process, but is that process going to lead them to the home that they want?
Yes.
They may want to wait. Also, sometimes the discussion that Barbara has with the clients, she also lets them know some things that should be tweaked to help their financial situation. And so that may improve their debt to income ratio and give them more buying power.
Yes,
So-
and that's the part I just want to know if they have like an average baseline, and then if they work on some things and improve some things while they're in the process. So do that mean that they then can qualify for a much?
It may.
Yeah.
It may.
Okay, all right.
Often it's just reducing their debt because the income may or may not increase. You know, we usually know what your income is. But if the problem is that you have more debt than your income will hold, then that's what could happen. You could find ways to tweak your debt to income ratio.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So we get a lesson here today. So, and I'm going out and I'm finding that condo. I'm ready for some condo living. I can do away with cutting the grass.
Oh, I thought you were saying
shoving
you
the
already
snow.
purchased a condo. You're saying that is what you want your next home to be.
Yes.
I
That's my
see,
retirement
I
plan.
see. Okay. All right. Now.
I'm almost about tired of cutting the grass.
Okay.
You know,
all
at
right.
first I thought it was cute to have almost 2 acres of land.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Not when you cutting all that grass
Oh, my
yourself
goodness. Wow.
and shoving the snow.
Well,
so
you know, they
yeah.
they do have companies that do that.
yes. But it's great exercise. And look, and I'm on a budget.
And now, actually, there are townhouses that are not considered condos, and you pay a small amount. You may pay $230, $240 maybe a month, and that includes they will cut your grass. They will also shovel some parts of your property, not all of it. Let's just say you have a big driveway. They're not going to shovel the driveway, but the sidewalk that is attached to the driveway, they may cover that. So a condo is a way to go, but as you know, they have very, very high condo fees.
Yes, that's the only thing. It's the condo fees, and they subject to go up. Okay,
That's right. They are subject to increase. You are right about that.
Yes. So we're gonna have to have a topic on that. You know,
Okay.
condo versus
Excellent.
you know.
I love that. I love that.
So I would love to see that condo versus home buying, single family home or town home or. Yes. So Barbara, you hear that? She gonna be like, Kara is coming on the show, trying to create her own shows within our show now. So
believe me, we have lots of topics that we have not even come close to getting to. We are just starting because once we get through this process, there are lots of other topics that we will need to throw in there so that our audience has the entire idea about what's going on with purchasing a home.
Yes. This is great information. So thank you for this lesson today.
No problem.
Yes.
So
and
this
because you are a teacher,
Yes.
because you are an educator too, I'm liking the way you're explaining. You're taking your time and just breaking down the process because a lot of times, you know, real estate agents don't do that. They want you to hurry up, just sign on the bottom line, take you out, get that commission, and move on to the next person. But you and Barbara just sound like that you care about your clients so much, and I just love how you are there. You walk them through the whole process. You are just hands on.
That's right.
That's what
right.
I'm hearing in this whole
Definitely.
process from you.
Because one of the things that I know, let's just say they've already closed, as soon as something goes wrong, whether it's with the home or it's with something they have a question about the loan, which would really be Barbara's side, guess who they're going to call? They're going to call me. That's right. They call me. And
That's why I did it
had
under the table. They go.
I have had clients call, and you know, it's sometimes the stuff that we've already discussed. But then
Yes.
sometimes it's information that should be maybe Barbara should answer. So I have to let them know that's a Barbara question.
yes.
But I know that's what's going to happen. So I try to give them as much information up front. And then I also say to my clients, hopefully I'm not overwhelming you. Because one of the things that I always say is that I do not want any of my clients to ever get to the closing table and then to say, wow, that went so quickly, I don't even know what was going on. No, none of my clients will ever be able to say that. Now, they may say the opposite is Jackie gave me too much information. They may say that. But they're never going to say I didn't know what was going on.
Exactly.
So now what we're going to talk about is the contract docs. I kind of mentioned them a little bit, but the contract docs, and as I said, I send out a sample of the contract docs. And the reason I do that is because I don't want the clients to feel as though I am pressuring them, what you just said. I take my time. I want them to know I'm working for them, but I'm not rushing you. And so once they say that they would like to actually review the contract docs, it's a sample. I let them know you cannot sign these docs. I do have a program that I pay for that's electronic signing, so we really don't ever have to get together to sign documents. If you want to do that, you're welcome. I let my clients know that we can either meet at my office to do this. We've actually never done it at a house. No, we've never done it at a house. We can either meet at my office, or we can do it as what I call a conference call, because sometimes it's more than one person. And so I will send the sample docs, and the sample docs, I explain to them that they haven't been filled out. Some of the information is what I call redacted. It may have been an original contract that I have actually blacked out the important information of the other client.
And so this, I don't mean to cut you off, but this is great information, because now with COVID,
Yes.
so I know
yes.
this process is probably
yes.
being used more than ever
Definitely,
now.
definitely.
Being able, but it sounds like this was your process way
All
before
along,
COVID.
all along.
So I know it probably picked up since COVID, being able to have that option now.
Yeah, but you're right. That's how I've always done it.
Yeah,
Because
smart you.
I just don't want to send a document, say read it and get it back to me. So that was my whole purpose from the beginning, not to do that. And so there have been a few times where we've actually had a Zoom meeting, but most of the time it's on the phone. They can see it on their computer, I can see it on mine, and we're doing it as a conference call.
Yes.
But if someone wants to see my face and is prepared,
Oh yes.
then we have done a Zoom here and there. But most of the time, clients will say, "No, it's okay. We can do it over the phone." So the contract docs, again, as I said, about 40 pages. The residential sale of contract, that's very, very important. It will have on page 1, it just has information about the home. So one of the things that's very important is that you have to actually put the settlement date down. And that's a date that you think you're going to be able to settle on. Now just imagine you are making an offer on a home. You know that you maybe want to be a first-time home buyer, participate in a first-time home buyer program. So again, we're projecting this out 45 to 50 days maybe, but we do have to put a settlement date on there. If things change, there's a way to deal with that later.
So why is that?
Because we want to show the seller that we are serious, and I guess really that's the buyer is serious. That we're not just saying that we're going to buy your home. This says we're going to buy your home when. This tells the when, the settlement date.
I like
and
that.
again, if something changes with that settlement date, and there can be a number of reasons why that may happen, then we can come back to that date and change the date. But that gives the seller a sense of security up front, that this buyer is serious, and you have to put it. It's right there in the contract. You can't leave it blank. You have to put that there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so going in the door knowing that
That's right.
that's
right.
Yeah, that's
The settlement
important.
date.
Yes.
The financing type is important, whether they're going to go FHA, conventional, that's important. So that's going to be on there. Also, any inclusions or exclusions, things that the homeowner is saying what is going to be in the home. So that's so that my buyer knows that all those ceiling fans, like those beautiful ceiling fans here, that they're going to be a part of your home. They are in the walls. They are a part of the home. There may be an extra freezer or refrigerator that's down in the basement or garage. And so when we go to see a home, the clients will say, "Oh, I wonder if this is a part of the home." And so sometimes I have to go back and ask, but it should be checked off in the inclusions, exclusions page. So very, very important. I've already talked a little bit about the lead-based paint. If a home is older than 1978, it's going to have that document. Another very important document is the wood destroying, what is that called? Just wood destroying insects. Do you know a word that usually is one word that usually takes the place of wood destroying insects?
Yeah.
Termites. Termites. However, what I discovered in becoming a realtor is it's not just the insect termites that eat your home. So that's why they took they changed the language from being termite inspection to being a wood destroying insect inspection, because there are different types of beetles that will eat your home. I mean, people know about beetles, they will eat your home. And there are also different types of carpenter ants that will also eat your home. So when you get that, that inspection for wood destroying insects inspection, they're not just looking for termites. I have a little funny story about that, if you don't mind me adding that in now.
Yes, I love funny stories, but you better be funny.
Well, okay, I need to say interesting. Okay, we're not going to be laughing here. It's interesting, and I learned something. And once I learned something, I put it in place.
Yes.
So one of my earlier clients, I had not been requiring, and it was one of my requirements, it became one of my requirements that all of my clients get a wood destroying insect inspection. It costs $39. There's some places where it may cost a little bit more, but for what it can do for you, $39 is a drop in the bucket. So this particular client, and I don't remember now, maybe 3 years ago, maybe half of my career, this particular client, I had not been making that a requirement because I didn't know. And so the client was pre-approved, had gotten pre-approved, and then something happened where they had to get a different type of loan. And that particular little piece in that loan said wood destroying insect inspection required. Now, we had already had the home inspection. We had already done that. Okay. The home inspector does not look for termites or wood destroying insects. Okay. Does not do that. That's not a part of his or her job. And so as a result of that requirement, with that new part of that loan financing that was where they required it, I sent out, because I always set that up. I do a lot of things for my clients, and that's one of the things that I set up is the wood destroying insect inspection. And so I have this little routine that I do. And so set that up. Guess what? The home came back with, in this particular case, it happened to be termites. It happened to be termites. So if she hadn't gotten that additional financing piece that required that, she would not have known. She would have purchased that home without knowing that. Because, and that was something else, in talking with that inspector that, I'm going to call him a termite inspector, would destroy insect or termite inspector, he taught me a lot about how you just walk in a home, and usually sometimes the owners have been living with termites for a while. They have no idea because they're not looking for it, nor are they trained to look for it. That's the real important piece. That's the real important piece. They're not trained to look for it. So anyway, as a result of that, I started telling my clients about, and I use that story because, stories help clients to see themselves in that situation. So just imagine this client, if she had not had to, if it had not been required, she would have purchased that home, and who knows, 5, 10, 15 years later, maybe her home would have been infested with them. We don't know, but it was taken care of right there on the spot. So she never has to worry about that.
Yes.
And so when I tell clients about that, I say, for $39, don't you think it's worth it? And they always do.
Yes, yes.
And
For
they always
$39,
That's right,
yes,
for
which are probably
$39.
saving you thousands
That's right.
later.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
definitely. And
Yes.
sometimes it might even be tens of thousands later,
Yeah,
depending
that's what
on
I'm saying. Yes.
how long they have been infesting your home.
That's
They
so
are
true.
eating the wood. That's what they're doing. They're eating the foundation.
We don't want that.
That's right. So also these documents that that I send them as a sample, they're contract documents. It talks about things like mediation. Now, mediation, nobody ever wants to go through that, but I let them know ahead of time that if something happens, it's available. And I say to them, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that right now because there's so many other things that are going to happen that if we have to come back to a mediation process, I will give them more information later. I will go into it with more detail later. And so they usually appreciate that. I tell them about attorney fees. Sometimes, unfortunately, a mediation doesn't cost a whole lot of money. In some counties, it doesn't cost at all. In Prince George's County, there is a small fee for a mediation. But of course, if you have to go into the legal realm, attorneys, they cost. We all know that. And so what happens with attorney fees? The contract docs spell that out. Okay, so that's very important to know. And mostly it's important for them to know that the person who loses has to pay the other person's attorney fees. So that's one of the most important pieces. It also addresses title insurance. Title insurance is very important. I usually send my clients a video and a written representation about title insurance because I say to them, I am not going to tell you to A, get it, or B, not to get it. I want my clients to independently make that decision. So I give them the information to help them understand exactly what title insurance is. Okay.
So break it down real quick to me. What is title insurance?
Well, title insurance, basically, the title company,
Yes.
okay, the title company, you have to have a title company, and they are going to basically look at everyone who's ever owned that title. They're going to look at the line. I can't, the word is not coming to me right now, but everyone who's ever owned that property. And they want to make sure that the title is clear of what they call, it doesn't have any clouds on it. You know, a cloud is dark and scary. You know, something's going to happen when you see a cloud. So they want to make sure there are no clouds on that title. And so, but however, things can be missed. And that's when, just like any type of insurance, car insurance, home insurance, insurance of your business, you miss it when you don't have it. When something happens and you didn't get it. That's right. That's right.
Yes, that's always the case,
That's
right?
So with title insurance, it's something that's important for the client to make up their mind whether they want to get it in the beginning, because the only time you can get title insurance is at the closing table. If you sign those papers and that house is now yours, you can no longer come back even the next hour and say, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to get title insurance. It's done. You didn't get it. So I give them the information ahead of time. So they can educate themselves, they can talk to other people, they can do whatever they need to do so that once they get to that table, they can say, yes, I want title insurance. And it's usually built into the closing costs anyway. The cost of it is built in. Yeah. Now, just for clarification, there are two types of title insurance. There's the lender title insurance that you don't have a choice over. You're going to pay for the lender. The buyer is going to pay for the lender title insurance. But the owner's title insurance, that's the one that they may either decide to get or not get. So I give them the information and I let them know I am not going to persuade you one way or the other. I'm going to make you educated. Okay?
Wow.
And so what we're going to do is, this is so much information, Karen.
It's wonderful
So much
information, though. It's
information.
so good information. It's, fruitful information. So now I'm leaving here being more knowledgeable than when I came in. And that's one thing I love about the show and having it on the platform, is that I'm so educated. Every time I see this show, I'm leaving out educated. You think you know what you need to know until you sit down, and it may be materials that you don't heard before, but it's the way that you and Barbara break it down that now I understand it and I get it.
All
So
right.
thank you for
you.
this.
Well,
I'm liking my
you.
education
Thank
lesson
you.
today. Matter of fact, I get a chance to sit up front and get it up close in person today.
But we're glad that you're here.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to come back.
Yes.
And we're going to have just a few more minutes before our show ends.
Yes.
And we're going to tie up this real estate process.
Yes, this real estate process. You are here with Barbara. That is, look, I'm being Barbara stand-in and with Jackie, and we'll be right back at you. Yes, because we wanted to get you home buyer ready. I know Barbara gonna say I'm killing that today. That's for you, Barbara. All right, we'll be right back at you. Badass us. Yeah, that's right. That's who we are. Badass us. What? Who are we? We are women. Beautiful, accomplished, and divine. That's right. Badass We are determined. We are divine. We are of greatness. That's right, the black community. Badass us. Who are we? That's right. Who am I? I am the person committed to building the next community movement. What about you?
Okay, so we are back, and Karen, we were just discussing some of the main headlines or topics that clients will find in the contract docs. So we were talking about title insurance right before we closed out.
Yes.
And so, in addition to all of the ones that I've already discussed, the contract docs will also have things that address if your home is in an area that's what they call wetlands. Have you ever heard of that before? Wetlands. Yeah, there's some homes that have literally have water conservation on their land. So when they buy that, they need to know that that's going to be there, and you're not supposed to do anything with that. In addition to that, there's also forest conservation. You may see a property that may have lots and lots of trees, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful, but I think I want to cut some of those trees down so that I can have a larger yard. And if it has a forest conservation, you cannot cut those trees down. It's on your land, but you basically don't own those trees. That's what they want you to know.
Yes.
And also critical bay areas. So, you know, we live near the Chesapeake Bay. We have different bays that we live near.
Right.
So if your home is in one of those critical areas or has, again, a conservation on it, you will know that up front before you decide to go through putting an offer in, getting a contract, and then like, oh no, I really don't want this. So
you mean I can't go and
no, no.
cut
And
that tree down?
that's right, and it's
I
up
can't
to
just-
the listing agent to say that in the listing, but it's also up to your buyer agent to make sure that you know that. Because just imagine you have gone through all of the process, 30, 40, 45 days later, the home is yours, and you can't wait to cut down those trees because you've decided not only do you want to put a pool in, but now you want a bigger pool.
Yes.
And you've already gotten the price for that pool and
Yes.
decided all the amenities you want, and then you find out you don't have all that yard space because you cannot cut down those forest trees. So who are you going to call? Me. Even if you're just talking, you're venting, you know, I have to be empathic about that. I have to walk you through that.
Yes.
So I don't like to do that. I
Yes,
like you
yes,
to know
yes.
up front.
Yes. And you know it. We're going to
That's
call
right.
you.
That's right. That's right. In addition, there's something called a sexual offender registry. In our documents, it tells you how to look up the sexual offender registry. I actually lost a client one time based on the sexual offender registry. I was relatively new, and what I said to the client when she asked me, she said, "Do you know if this property is near any sexual offenders?" Well, my first thought in my head was, how would I know that? So I said, no, I don't. However, there is a sexual offender registry that you can go on. You can put your address in, and I don't know if you've ever done that before. Have you ever done that before?
No, but I
Literally,
know-
you
yes,
put it in,
and-
and all of the sexual offenders that are registered, they actually, you see them. You see
Yes.
their profile. You see information about them. And it lets you know how close they are to your home. And so I said all of that to her. And what I didn't say to her, by law, I should not look up the registry and tell you the information. I should only direct you to the registry, okay? And so about 2 days later, she called me up and said, I'm going to be going with a new real estate agent. And I said, oh my goodness, and I was like flabbergasted. I knew someone that she knew. The person had referred me, and that person told me it was because I did not follow through with the sexual offender registry. So I messed up in not saying by law I cannot do that. I just said I can't do that.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, you live and learn. You live and learn.
Yes, yes, yes. But you know what? I you know, now you got me thinking. I always knew that you could, but then again, do I really want to know in that sense? You know, because I believe it's near everybody, no matter where
That's
you
right.
live.
That's right.
It's going to be somewhere
That's
nearby
right.
you.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
absolutely right about that.
Yeah. Oh.
One of the final things that I do want to say is
Okay.
that in addition to all of the contract docs and the broker docs, there is, and I mentioned this earlier, the representation agreement between the exclusive buyer tenant representation agreement is only 11 pages. But the entire, all of the documents that I'm talking about right now is
Yes.
a part of the entire agreement. So it becomes a part of the entire contract. So it's not
Yes.
just a few pages. It's about 40, and then if you add the broker docs to it, you're looking at about another 12 or so. So you're going to be looking at a lot of documents.
Yes,
A lot of documents.
yes. You know, one thing, that's what I felt like when I bought my home is like afterwards, I felt like I was in like an intense boot camp. So, you know, and this is what it feels like but when you have someone as thorough as you and Barbara are, then it takes the intensity away. So I like the way you're explaining this and just educating our audience out there.
Yes.
So if they have a question or anything like that, how can they write in or get more information about this?
We have a Gmail address, so they can send questions to homebuyingquestions@gmail.com.
All
Okay,
right,
and
so-
that's actually we actually have that on our when you look, if you have to look at a recording of the show, you will see that on the show, so you know exactly where to go to.
Yes,
Ask
yes,
any questions.
because you all are so thorough and so good. You should have been there when I brought my home back when I was 24 years old. I would have been in it with ease.
Well, you
because
know
like I
what? Guess what?
Yes.
Back then, there weren't probably not 40 pages of documents.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Documents, there used to be very, very few documents. But over time, they add more documents.
Yeah.
Even
No,
in
it
my
seemed
6
like
and a
it was a
half
book.
years, even in my 6.5 years, they have increased the number of documents.
Yes,
So they
yes.
definitely increased. So what I want to say is we are, so the day we discuss what happens after you get your pre-approval, what I call the beginning of the real estate process. Next week, or the next time that we get together, we are going to discuss kind of part 2 of this, because
Yes.
there's much more to do.
Yes.
This is after you have identified your home. Now, we've talked about, we've looked at the 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage with a yard, fenced in, all the amenities that you like. You found the home. You're like, yes, this is the one. Maybe we went out 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 or 5, sometimes 6, 7, or 8. And however long it takes for you to find that home. And then once you do, you say to me, I want to submit an offer. And that's when as I call it, the real fun starts then, because we are going to submit an offer, and then there's so many things that have to happen between you saying you want to submit and then me actually submitting that offer. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that next time. So I want to just let our audience know
Yes.
that and to remember that we are here to help you with all of these types of topics. And so be sure to send any questions to homebuyingquestions@gmail.com. But most importantly, we want you to understand your power to purchase. That is very important. That's why we're doing these shows.
Yes.
And the reason that we're doing these shows is so that you can become home buyer ready.
Yes, I was waiting on that part. I can't wait to say that part. Yes, yes. I just love everything that you are doing here, and I feel like I am home buyer ready for that condo.
Great.
Yes,
Excellent,
I'm
excellent,
getting that
excellent.
condo. I'm gonna get that
Excellent,
condo.
excellent.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
we will see you in 2.
Yes, we'll
Alrighty,
see you
we'll
on the
see
other
you in
side.
2.
And Barbara, you take care. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you back in 2 weeks. It'll be Barbara sitting back over here, and you know she gonna come. And look, I hope I threw in a joke or two, because you know she
were
is so
excellent.
funny.
Thank you so
Yes,
much. You were
yes,
excellent.
yes, yes.
As a stand-in guest, we really appreciate that.
Oh no, you was great, and excellent teacher you are. Thank you for the lessons today.
Thank you.
Yes.